Hi, Lexie. It's Laura Kraut here. And thank you so much for sending your video forward to the Online Riders Collective. It's such a great cause, and hopefully we'll be helping out some of our friends or people at the horse shows who really need it. And thank you very much for sending your training at home, because actually this is helpful. I've been looking at mainly show ring rounds, which is nice, but this is good because I feel like it can really help you improve your flat work and your jumping. So let's get started here. You said Romeo he's 10 now, so you've had him for 4 years, and it looks like you've done a very nice job with him. So if he was unruly from the start, you've got him in a nice way right now. I mean, with his nose in and polite. At least he's very polite in this video. Your position is really nice. You look like you're strong, you're confident and competent. I've watched through your video a couple times already, and you look like you've got the experience to help teach him. To help you to get him a little bit further along in his flat work, as I'm just watching as you come down to the trot and you're coming across the diagonal, you're doing what I call you're wagging his head to get his nose down. So you're pulling it left and right and left and right. And what I would say to you to do is work on getting him to actually get a little bit looser through his neck and his body and worry a little less about the mouth. So what I would say is, as you're doing the trot and you're coming off of the right hand and you're coming across this diagonal, I'd push my left leg into him, into your new outside rein, which will be the right one. And then I'd bend him around. I'd bring my hand back and I'd hold it. And hold it for 5 or 6 or 7 trot steps until he gives and unlocks his neck. So you actually ask him to bend his neck while going in a straight line. This will accomplish a few things. One, it should soften up his neck. And the thing is when a horse is going, no matter what their mouth is, if they lock their neck, then if their neck is locked, their back is locked, their hind end is locked, then their body is stiff. So if you can start by having the neck be relaxed and flexible, then the back should go and then the hind end should go, which I think as we go forward would help with your jumping. So when you're trotting here, instead of wagging his head back and forth, push him into the outside rein, hold the outside rein, and hold the bend. And then as you ask him into canter, the same thing, going down this long side, hold the bend and sit and use some inside leg. Really push him forward. Like, to me, your canter is nice, but you're not asking him to do much. You're just saying, okay, you're being good, and you're sitting with it. But what I would do is I would ask him for more canter. I would ask him to go more forward through the bend, as I was talking about, and then collect. And then you've come back down to the trot. Same thing. Then this time really push him over with your right leg into your left rein and hold the right bend. And don't be afraid. I say at home to my kids, try to put their knee on your nose. It's not, don't feel like, oh, I've just got a tiny bend. That'll work. If you've ever done carrot stretches with your horses, you know how much your horse can bend its neck around. So you want to try to get him so that he can get his neck really unlocked. And it has to be done as much through the leg as through the hand. The other thing that I think would really help him and help you to engage more in your seat and leg would be a lot of counter-canter work. And not just counter-canter where you're just thinking, okay, I've got him in the counter-canter, I'm going to make him stay here and not go forward. But actually working in the counter-canter as if you were on the correct lead. So forward and back and, coming through the center of the ring. Your ring looks to be not huge, so you wouldn't want to make it too tight for him. But getting him to really loosen up, that will get his hind legs a lot longer, looser, and more productive than they are. Moving on into the indoor now and watching him jump, having seen him jump is why I'm actually focusing on that, talking to you about getting him a little less stiff, because he does look like he's got jump. He looks like he's got a strong jump. His attitude seems good about it. But what I would say that I pick apart as you go is he's stiff. So like even through that little double that you jump, the vertical, he doesn't want to use his head and neck much. He gets to it. He doesn't drop his nose. He just sort of jumps up. He actually doesn't make a bad jump, but you'd love it if he dropped his head and came up through his withers more and then used his hind end more. Exercises for that would be landing poles, but I really think through your flat work, you can get him to be a bit softer and nicer and round, which will help his jump. Because if his hind end gets a little bit stronger and he's more supple, he's more inclined to use his back. So you just jump the cross rail to what I think is an oxer. And again, he makes a very good jump. He just still doesn't necessarily want to drop his head and relax through his back at the jump. You just jump the green. What I do like to see as you go on is you get to jumping bigger jumps, and then it gets better, but I do think that I can see where as the jumps got really big, it would be hard for him, because even there you jump the green, jump back again. His neck is just stiff off the ground, his shoulders stiff. His front end, it's not bad, but it could be better. I think you could make it better. There at your ramped oxer, he is good. But then I'm going to touch on that, and that is this horse, in my opinion, should jump only square oxers, so that he has to worry about his front end. And oftentimes square and wide oxers will teach them to get their withers up, because they have to have scope, and drop their heads down, because that's what enables them to get the scope. So, as you do your gymnastics, I notice you jump a nice big oxer, but it's ramped. So it's really only encouraging him to jump in the style that he's jumping, which is stiff through the shoulder, stiff through the back, and a little stiff through the back end. You're coming through the diagonal here, jumping the purple vertical, which again is nice. It's helpful right now. I think you come through the gymnastic, which I think is helpful. What would be good as you do the gymnastic is a landing rail between each one. So you could trot in with a landing rail to encourage him to drop his head, the vertical with a landing rail, and then a nice square oxer coming out. So a landing rail and a really square lower oxer, but wider, until you feel like he starts to come across it. There you just jumped your red and white and purple vertical, which is good. I mean, there's no question the horse has some ability and the strength to jump. I just think if you can work on his technique a little bit, that's going to make him better in the long run when you get to the shows. Purple oxer, very good there. Really good with the front end, really quick. But were it square, I'm not sure how he'll do it. Then back through the next combination with the canter rail in, which I really like. But again, ramped oxer on the way out. I think you definitely want to get away from that and more to the square oxers. When you do your verticals, nice big ground lines, so that he understands not to go past the distance and stiffen, but with a good ground line in front, that helps him to figure out where his arc should be and make a better jump. So those are my two suggestions. I think, you've got all the right ideas with gymnastics, and hopefully as the weather is getting better, you can move outside just to give yourself a little bit more room. But I think it looks like you've done a great job with him. And from what I can see on the video, he doesn't look unruly at all. But your riding looks fantastic. And I think keep working, and hopefully we'll be able to get back to the horse shows soon and get out of this virus. And best of luck to you, and take care. Bye.